City. We only have another 3 stops, this one and 2 to go on the balcony in front, and then we high five. Basically, guys, the Arch of Titus is the smallest arch because it's the oldest arch. Romans never had standard sizes about them. They're usually funded by the guy that puts his name on top. So imagine if you build an arch, you want a bigger than a guy before. It just makes sense. So the newer they are, the bigger they are. However, this one, 81 to 82 after Christ, is just 2 years newer than the opening day of the Colosseum. Stands 15 meters tall, making it 45 feet. And it's made out of brick on the inside and only travertine on the outside. One thing about Roman arches is, compared to modern arches, all of the arches that we found from the Roman times, they're all solid. None of them are hollow like the French one, okay? Now, this is the Rome motto for the one in France on Champs-Élysées. Now, unlike most other arches, this is a huge PR move because it doesn't really talk about a hero and then his title so you remember him in history. This one actually promotes a law, and it's the law of the young Emperor Domitian. It's his first law in office. The law says, Senatus populus ve Romanus, divotito divi Vespasiani, Vespasiano Augusto. In case your Latin's rusty, in English that says, through the power of the Senate and the people of Rome, Titus and Vespasian are now gods, Vespasian the too happy, or Vespasian the emperor. In other words, by law, my dad and my brother are gods, and by the way, my dad's an emperor. That sounds great, right? And the reason he did it is that when Domitian comes to power, he's 25 years old. He never had a military career, he never had a political career. So obviously he's a puppet for the Senate to sign everything they put in front of him because he's alone on the world, his brother's dead, his dad's dead, his family's pretty much gone, and they will stab him if he doesn't vote whatever they say. However, Domitian wisens up to that and knows he cannot be the puppet of the Senate, but in order to stop being that and gaining his own independence, he needs support from somewhere. He doesn't have the time to get the people of Rome to love him or the armies, but the people love Vespasian because he built the houses that were burned down by the fire of Rome. He built the Colosseum, so obviously you love that guy. Turn him to a god and see what they say about you. You were in a bit of favor, right? Another thing you do with this thing. Imagine, hello madam, imagine you need something.
Is your license there?
Yes.
Shit.
You need, I need to put it around my neck apparently. So basically guys, what happens is that you also need the army to back you up, right? In order to get the army to back you up, the soldiers are usually, you need to pay them, even nowadays, right? However, he's broken. He can't really request from the treasury a lot of money because they'll figure out his plan. He's trying to bribe the legions to get them against us. However, the legions were already paid off by Titus, his brother. You guys remember the infamous Titus that burns Jerusalem, destroys the second temple of Solomon, takes 100,000 slaves and close to 50,000 kilograms of gold and silver. Now he pays his 3 legions, about 15,000 people, with 50,000 kilograms of gold and silver. Now obviously the officers and the NCOs kept most of it, but even the water carrier in that legion turned back to Rome rich, I guarantee you that. So ask those guys if they like Titus, and they worship him. Turn Titus into a god and they'll like you. And in that way, with a pen, a parchment, you make a law that gets the armies to back you up, the people of Rome to back you up, you turn to the Senate and you say you and what army are going to stab you. And that's how you manage to survive another 15 years till they ultimately stab you in 96. That's how most emperors die, they get stabbed or poisoned. So now, but it still gives him 15 years of power. That's a very long run for most emperors. It's 3 times longer than the average, which is about 6 years. So imagine that. Now, if you guys look on the inside of the arch, that's Titus riding in 74 after Christ when he comes to Rome. And on the side you guys can't see. Go after my tour, and you'll be seeing the Jewish slaves carrying the menorah. That's the Jewish candelabra, right? That's the oldest depiction of the menorah in Europe. So that's why the arch is still here. One of the strongest communities in Rome is the Jewish community. They made sure throughout the ages that nobody knocks it down because of the age of the menorah. Now let's try to move, guys. I kept it in the sun far too long. Do you have any questions? Sorry guys, I'm just not a big fan of this. All those wrong, but I have all the papers if you guys want.
Where can you get the audio guide? I saw people with audio guide.
You buy it at the entrance.
Okay, you gotta pay extra. Even if you have the ticket from Coliseum.
Yeah.
If I say anything else to that, how would that feel? You're spending 35 euros. That's just over how much you spend. It's better to have some sort of license. At least know I went to some about. Well,